Let's get real for a second. Right now, 99% of people will never build real wealth. They'll work hard, chase paychecks, maybe even save a little, but they'll never break through to financial freedom. And it's not because they're lazy or unlucky. It's because they're playing the wrong game. In this video, I'm going to reveal why 99% fail at building wealth and, more importantly, how you can join the 1% who do it differently. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or winning the lottery. It's about mindset, habits, and systems that turn small actions into massive results. Welcome to Has to Be Rich, where we break down the truth about money. Let's dive in. Here's a hard truth. Most people are stuck in a cycle of surviving, not thriving. They trade their time for money, spend it all, and start over next month. They dream of financial freedom, but their actions keep them trapped. Why? Because they're missing the 4 pillars that separate the 1% from everyone else. Today, I'm going to walk you through those pillars, share a personal story of how I went from broke to building a $10,000 portfolio, and give you practical steps to start your own wealth journey right now. Stick with me, because this could be the wake-up call that changes your life. Let's start with pillar number 1, mindset. The 1% think about money differently. They don't see it as something to spend, they see it as a tool to build more. Most people get a paycheck and think, what can I buy? New phone, new clothes, maybe a vacation? The 1% think, how can I make this money work for me? They invest in stocks, real estate, businesses, or skills that generate more income over time. It's not about how much you earn, it's about what you do with it. When I was 22, I was working a dead-end retail job, earning $12 an hour. I spent every dollar on fast food, clothes, and nights out. My bank account was always at zero. Then I read a book that flipped my brain upside down, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It taught me that wealth isn't about income, it's about assets. That was my first mindset shift, and it changed everything. Here's the deal, your mindset is either your biggest asset or your biggest liability. If you think investing is too risky or for rich people, you're already losing. The 1% know that risk is part of growth. They're not afraid to learn, fail, and try again. They don't wait for the perfect moment to start, they start messy and figure it out. Take my friend Alex. He grew up in a low-income family, no college degree, no trust fund. But he decided he wasn't going to stay broke. At 25, he started investing $20 a week in a low-cost ETF through a Robinhood account. He didn't know much, but he learned by doing. Today, at 30, his portfolio is worth $40,000, and he's on track to hit $1 million by 50. That's the power of a wealth-building mindset. Pillar number 2, discipline. The 99% fail because they lack consistency. They start a budget but quit after a week. They open an investment account but stop funding it when life gets busy. They say, I'll save next month, but next month never comes. The 1% are relentless. They automate their savings, stick to their plans, and say no to distractions. When I started my wealth journey, I was terrible at discipline. I'd save $50 one month, then blow it on a new gadget the next. Then I tried something crazy. I set up an automatic transfer of $25 a week to a Vanguard account before I could even see the money in my checking account. It was like paying myself first. That small habit grew my portfolio to $10,000 in 3 years. It wasn't sexy, but it worked. Discipline beats motivation every time. Let's talk numbers to prove this. If you invest $25 a week, $100 a month, in an ETF like the S&P 500 Index Fund, with an average 7% annual return, you'll have $12,000 in 10 years. Keep it going for 30 years, and it's over $120,000. That's not a fantasy, that's math. The 1% understand the power of small, consistent actions. They don't need to start with millions, they start with what they have. My cousin Lisa, a single mom working as a barista, saved $10 a week for 5 years. She now has $3,000 in a high-yield savings account and $2,000 in a Roth IRA. She's not rich yet, but she's building wealth because she's disciplined. Let's pause for a second. I want to know, what's the one thing holding you back from building wealth right now? Is it fear? Lack of knowledge? Bad habits? Drop it in the comments below, I'm reading every single one, and your answer might spark a breakthrough for someone else in this community. Don't hold back. Pillar number 3, knowledge. The 99% fail because they don't learn how money works. They think investing is complicated, so they avoid it. They trust gurus promising quick riches instead of doing their own homework. The 1% are obsessed with learning. They read books, watch videos, join communities, and experiment. When I started investing, I was clueless. I thought the stock market was like gambling. But I spent $15 on a used copy of The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins and watched free YouTube videos from channels like Graham Stephan. Within a month, I understood index funds, diversification, and compound interest. That knowledge gave me confidence to start investing $50 a month, then $100, then more as I earned more. Knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. The more you know, the less you lose. Take tax strategies, for example. The 1% use tools like Roth IRAs or 401ks to grow money tax-free. They learn about capital gains to minimize taxes when selling investments. My friend Maria, a nurse, learned about Roth IRAs through a free workshop at her community center. She started contributing $200 a month. 5 years later, her account is worth $15,000, and it's all tax-free when she retires. She didn't need a finance degree, she needed curiosity. You can do the same. Start with free resources, Investopedia, NerdWallet, or YouTube channels like The Money Guy Show. Spend 30 minutes a week learning, and you'll outsmart 99% of people. Pillar number 4, environment. The 99% fail because they're surrounded by people who think small. Their friends spend every dollar, their family says, investing is for rich people, and their coworkers complain about bills. The 1% surround themselves with winners, people who talk about assets, not liabilities. When I was stuck in my retail job, my friends were all about partying and buying stuff. I felt trapped. Then I joined an online community on Reddit called r/financial independence. I read posts from people my age who were saving 50% of their income or retiring at 40. It blew my mind. I started following investors on X, like at Naval and at Morgan Housel, who shared ideas about wealth. Those voices pushed me to think bigger. Your environment shapes your future. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Find mentors, even virtual ones. Join local investment clubs or online forums like Bogleheads. Follow creators who challenge you to level up. My buddy Mark, a high school teacher, was surrounded by coworkers who lived paycheck to paycheck. He decided to change his environment by attending a personal finance meetup. There, he met a guy who taught him about real estate crowdfunding. Mark invested $1,000 in a platform called Fundrise. 3 years later, his investment is worth $1,400, and he's planning to add more. He didn't change jobs, he changed who he listened to. Let's break down why these pillars, mindset, discipline, knowledge, environment, matter. The 99% fail because they're reactive. They let fear, distractions, or bad advice control their money. The 1% are proactive. They think long-term, act consistently, learn constantly, and choose their circle wisely. Building wealth isn't about luck or privilege, it's about decisions. And you're one decision away from joining the 1%. Here's a real-world example to tie this together. My friend Sarah was a college dropout working as a cashier, earning $30,000 a year. She felt like wealth was impossible. But she stumbled on a podcast called Choose FI and got hooked. She shifted her mindset to see money as a tool, not a toy. She started saving $50 a month in a high-yield savings account. She learned about side hustles and started freelancing on Upwork, earning an extra $500 a month. She invested that in a Vanguard ETF. She joined a local fire meetup, where she met people who inspired her to keep going. Today, at 28, Sarah has $25,000 in investments and a side hustle bringing in $2,000 a month. She's not a millionaire yet, but she's in the 1% because she's building wealth, not just dreaming about it. Let's get practical. Here are 4 steps you can take today to join the 1%. Step 1, change your mindset. Write down one limiting belief about money, like I'll never have enough, and replace it with I can build wealth with what I have. Read one book this month, like The Millionaire Next Door or Your Money or Your Life. Step 2, build discipline. Open a brokerage account with Fidelity or Robinhood. Automate $10 a week to an ETF like VU. Don't touch it, no matter what. Step 3, invest in knowledge. Spend 30 minutes this week on Investopedia learning about compound interest or Roth IRAs. Subscribe to a finance channel like The Plain Bagel for weekly tips. Step 4. Upgrade your environment. Follow 3 people on X who talk about wealth, like at Rummeet or at a Wealth IFCS. Join one online community, like r/personal finance. These steps don't cost much, but they'll put you ahead of 99% of people. Here's another story to drive this home. My cousin Jake was stuck in a $40,000 a year job, no savings, no plan. He thought wealth was for other people. Then he watched a YouTube video about the FIRE movement. It clicked. He started saving $100 a month in a Roth IRA. He read the Boglehead's Guide to Investing and learned about low-cost index funds. He joined a local investment club and met people who pushed him to start a side hustle. He now runs a small eBay store, flipping vintage clothes for $1,000 a month. His portfolio is at $8,000, and he's aiming for $100,000 by 35. Jake didn't win the lottery, he built the 4 pillars. Let's hit you with one more question, because this one's big. If you could change one money habit today, what would it be? Maybe it's spending less on takeout, starting to invest, or reading a finance book. Drop it in the comments, I'm curious, and your answer could inspire someone else in this community to take action. Here's the brutal truth: wealth isn't an accident. It's a choice. The 99% choose comfort, instant gratification, and excuses. The 1% choose sacrifice, consistency, and growth. You don't need a big salary or a trust fund. You need a mindset that sees opportunity, discipline to act, knowledge to make smart moves, and an environment that lifts you up. The gap between you and financial freedom isn't as wide as you think, it's just a series of small, intentional steps. Let's zoom out. Why does this matter? Because your life is more than a paycheck. It's about freedom. Freedom to quit a job you hate, travel the world, or leave a legacy for your family. The 99% trade their time for money forever. The 1% build systems that make money work for them. You get to decide which path you're on. But you have to decide now, because time doesn't wait. Every day you delay is a day you're not compounding your wealth. Here's a final challenge: do one thing today to join the 1%. Maybe it's opening that investment account. Maybe it's downloading a budgeting app like YNAB. Maybe it's unfollowing people who make you feel broke and following creators who make you think bigger. One action, no excuses. The 1% don't wait for Monday, they start now. This isn't financial advice, always consult a professional before making money moves. It's a wake-up call. The 1% aren't smarter than you, they're just playing a different game. Are you ready to join them? Choose wisely. If this video hit home, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our daily tips on building wealth. Want more like this? Check out my video 5 money mistakes you need to avoid in 2025 in the description below. Let's build your financial future together. This is Has2 Barrick, and I'll see you in the next one.